And one thing that's fascinating about being here on the Danube, which in Hungary is the Duna. This is still in Hungary, so this is the Duna. And when we get to, well, the Slovakian part, Slovakians and possibly the Czechs call it the Dunaj or Dunaj, D-U-N-A-J. And then when we get into Austria and Germany, it's the Donau, D-O-N-A-U. This river's been in the history books since there's been history, and even prehistory. People have been here along its banks. First it was possibly Neolithic, maybe even Paleolithic people. We know that for a fact because when we get into Austria, there are archaeological sites that date back to at least 30,000 years ago, close to the river. We know that after that, Celts in Europe had a number of settlements along the river, fortified settlements in small villages and also towns. And then it was the Romans. The Danube was the Lima Romanus, the Roman line, the frontier border that separated the Roman Empire from northern Europe, rest of Europe, actually not even northern Europe, but north of it was considered the frontier, where non-Romans lived, the so-called barbarians, Germanic peoples, after the Celts were driven out. And along this river there were several fortified Roman towns. Budapest was one. Aquincum, just north, a little bit north on the south bank or east bank. And in several areas, Carnuntum, which was where the Emperor Claudius established the capital of Pannonia. And then later Marcus Aurelius was in this very area. Vienna was Vindobona, which was featured in the movie Gladiator. And he was there trying to subdue the couple of Germanic tribes, the Marcomanni and the Aiudi, I think, unsuccessfully. Even after the Emperor Trajan defeated the Dacians in what is now Romania, and I think would have been probably 120, 125, 127 AD. But what you're seeing here, there's a little island. I wonder what this island is. It's probably an island that I wrote about. It's a small one. During the Middle Ages, after the Romans abandoned their forts, their fortified towns were overrun and taken over by Germanic people and the Slavic people. The Slavs entered the area. And settled on the places where the Romans built their towns or forts. And why there were so many forts here is because the land actually, it's hard to see here, but if you look in the distance, the shores, the banks, climbed up into the hills, cliffs, which made excellent places for defensive positions. And why? Trade, commerce. People have been using this river since at least Neolithic times, trading and moving commodities like flint, salt, the first two principal commodities. So we are sailing west, which is eventually where the sun will be setting. Still waiting for something of note.